Hi there everybody, welcome back. My name is Chris Orme. This is Starters Order 6. And as you can see, we've got a couple of new horses. We've got two young fillies here, a couple of 2-year-olds. We did have 3. I spent the last couple of hours trying to sort out a few bits and pieces and really look at the horses we've got, how they've been running, what kind of races I've been booking for them, and just trying to establish where each horse is and where we need them to go. And while I was doing that, I thought it's a shame to have all the breeding facilities, etc., sorted out and not have the breeding program ready to go right now. So I thought the first thing we needed to do was get some fillies into this stable and just see really, is there anything there that we can work with? Now, I went into a couple of auctions. We had a lot of money left over after the full build of the stables. And to be honest with you, I isolated 3 female horses from that list. And I really thought all 3 were going to be good enough. I believe we spent about 300,000 on these 2 horses, and then I spent a little over 2 million on a 3rd horse. Sadly, that 3rd horse had absolutely zero potential. It was an unraced 2-year-old that just did not look like it could do the business. So it's a little bit of a shame, but that's kind of where we ended up on it. We had to sell that horse on. We made about 2 million back. I should be in the finances somewhere. No? Yes. So one of these horses you can see that we've brought in was about high 200,000s. We sold the horse for 2 million. I think we spent about 2.4, 2.6 on it. So we lost a decent amount of money on that other horse. And I think the other horse that we've kept was around the same price. It was between 2.5 and 300,000, I believe. So for maybe 600,000 and the 600,000 we lost, we've got 2 decent horses. So let's have a look. Both 2-year-olds, both have raced, both have won races. So let's go first for Alincala, because this little horse, I like. The breeding indicator says the distance will be good enough. Decent stamina. Not a lot of speed or anything, but, at the moment we're okay. So 5 furlongs, finished 9th. A false rating of 67. Wins the selling race over a mile. Jumps up a little bit. I think the slight increase in racing, that's not high enough. The muddy track, I don't know if that carries through into breeding. I would suspect that it might do, so we might raise this one instead of breeding. I don't know yet. That's something I'm going to have to think about and try and read up on and see exactly what traits go through, because I know the build can, disposition can, the distance, some of the stats, especially the potential. I just don't know about the track preferences. So Alincala, as you can see, we've booked in for a 1 mile handicap, 0 to 85. I'd like her to be able to win that race, or at least get like top 3, and maybe jump towards, if not into the 80s after that race. And so when we look at her stats, you can see it's not a huge amount of potential, but as a 2-year-old, I felt that that was decent enough. It's looking at about 55 potential, I think, when we cap out for this 2-year-old season. So a couple of decent wins. We're not far away. That's okay. Great finish, great consistency, a bit of going adaptability, which is nice because they're not all going to be muddy tracks. And I just felt there was enough here that we could turn Alincala into a decent little horse. So that's our first one. The other one is Rare Old Times. Very similar. Both 90 rated. Both have won 1 race this season. But Rare Old Times won the maiden over 5 furlongs. The stamina bar is low. This is a sprinter, breeding at 6, high speed, high acceleration. A great start. When we look at these stats as well, you can see more potential though. I think this is a horse age 3 or 4, could be really, really nice. So if we get a long distance horse, maybe a mile 4, mile 6 kind of stallion to breed her with, I think that distance will average out then around a mile 1 or 2, which is kind of where I want it, because there's a lot of money races that open up between a mile and a mile 2. So I'm hoping that will all work out in the long term. Again, there's some decent stats, high deterioration though, so we don't want her to get that old. You know, we're going to need to do what we need to do with this horse quite quickly. Great training adaptation though, and we are training stamina quite nicely. So hopefully, if it's possible, I think she'll gain more stamina. Maybe herself move up into the mile territory, and then we've got a possible breeder for Triple Crown style races if we do pair her up with a mile 4, mile 6 sort of stallion, as I previously mentioned. So they're not bad, they're not the greatest, but you know, 1.2 million basically has got me these two horses that we didn't have before, and we didn't need that money, so we're okay, we're in a good place. I've booked a few races, I've jumped ahead. Montauk Highway is up next. You know, a first and a second for me since he's been at the Rascalicious Farm. I really, really love those stats. I wish they were a little bit higher. I think they will be, age 4 or 5. And as you can see, not a lot of deterioration. So I'm really starting to look at this horse as something special, and I hope so. Now 1 mile 2, we struggled for pace. 1 mile 4, it said was spot on, but I'm not sure. I want to test at a mile 3. So we're in the Del Mar Grade 2 race. Now, who knows if that's actually going to be a good idea or not, but that's the one we're going for. I have also booked Rare Old Times in a very short trip. It's not a long trip for her either. And Saratoga Springs, that's pretty much where we're always heading, up to California there on the northeast coast of America, of course. But yes, it's pretty decent at the moment, I'd say. I'm really enjoying sort of seeing all these horses work and improve. So Rare Old Times is going into a handicap at 5 furlongs. I don't believe there's too much else there. It's going to be a decent field, but nothing too bad, and I do believe that, you know, she can compete at that level, and the better horses are carrying a lot of extra weight, so I don't really see too much to worry about for Rare Old Times in that one. That should be a decent little race. Alancala, again, very similar, better horses, but we're hoping for something there. And Glingamil, can he continue his, what is it now, 7 race winning streak? I don't know. Again, it's a 7 furlong. Again, it's a feature race. Again, it's a graded race, but we're actually stepping up to grade 1. So this is another test for Glingamil. Can he get the job done? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure, but again, it's all about testing. So Montauk, we see how good he is. Glingamil, we're pushing to the limit to see where the breaking point is, if any. And we're trying to see where these horses are at the start of their careers with us. The rest, I couldn't really find suitable races. There were a couple at the right sort of distance, but I feel the quality's too high in a couple of those races. We're just setting ourselves up for finishes outside the top 5. We're not going to earn any money. We're going to lose money, and a couple of the horses haven't got great confidence, so I don't want to race them under those circumstances where it's just going to end up hurting the horse. So there's Montauk. You can see middle of the pack in the bettings. Singy Red looks like a decent bet though. Seems to be quite calm. Good rating. Low weight to some of the other horses. Decent place for a bet. This is the kind of horse I would normally look for. But Montauk Highway, we've got to have faith in our own. You got to have faith. So let's go out and see if Montauk can do it. Again, I did try and reinstall a bunch of the mods and things. I can't figure out why we've got no rails. I hope it doesn't distract from gameplay for most of you out there. But that's a decent little start. That is a decent little start. And the Montauk will slip towards the back. There he is, chasing pack. The Singy Red's right there with him. So, at the moment, I like number 4 and 5, Dreamwalker and Sunbay. Bob's Ticket had a bad start, but is now in good position. So let's speed through this a little bit. Yeah, I really like Bob's Ticket. I think his positioning is pretty good here. If he moves up to the shoulder of Sunbay from about 3 out, makes his move at about 2, he's got a chance. Montauk is dead last. Oh, nice little late break there. What's that? So that's Rydane is making their move. Sunbay, one of the horses I really like, is there in second place at the moment. And Montauk, for some reason, is just stuck at the back doing absolutely nothing. Making a far too late move. And what's that? That's 6th place. Okay. Well, that certainly was not in the plan. That is surprising. I was expecting Montauk to finish near the top of this race. I thought Sunbay would trouble him. I didn't think anyone else really would. I was expecting top 3, maybe slip down to about 4th or 5th. Not 6th, and not by the distance that he did. So I don't know. I don't know what happened there. I really don't think there was as big a difference in class as that race seemed to suggest. Maybe it was running at the new distance. I don't know. The only race is 1 in 5 is a mile 4. So maybe I need to look again now, mile 4 for Montauk Highway, and just see what's about. Is there anything at a mile 4 coming up? We've got 4 races, and they're all selling races. So a mile 3 are all selling races, and it's previously ran mile 2. They're both selling races as well. So Montauk really hasn't got a lot to do over the next month or so. Maybe he's done for the season. Slightly disappointing, but hey, that's what we've got to do. That's only the second race with us that any horse has finished outside the top 5 and is still with us. Yeah, okay. I've got to say that's kind of thrown me a little bit. But let's move on. It's rare old times. And there we go. We're the favourite. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. So this horse here is running at £9 lighter and is only 2 points behind. Looks slightly agitated though, so that's okay. And this horse runs £1 lighter than us and is 6 points higher. Let It Fly. Okay. Okay, Let It Fly and Ella's Wish. Now, an agitating horse with an apprentice jockey riding. I'm not convinced that's a great combination. So Ella's Wish might be a little bit of an issue. Okay. So Let Fly's in the blue, and that's the yellow with black sleeve. Here on the outside is Ella's Wish. And that's a bad break from Rare Old Times. Wow. Okay. So we're here, and we're right behind one of the rookie jockeys. So this isn't a very long race, and we're already down to the 3 furlong marker. I would like us to be getting position up to the top 3 at this point. We're actually leading the chasing pack, coming into screen now. At 2 we're in position. 1.5 we're challenging, and by 1 we're in the lead. That's perfect. That is absolutely sort of point perfect, and we're pulling away down the home stretch. That was a lovely little run by Rare Old Times. That is a win any day of the week that you can be proud of. That was the perfect race for her to run in. So she was favourite. She opened up to nearly 6 lengths, and yeah, that's empty rating. I really think that's a false rating. So is that 47. However, that 47 might be a empty. But Rare Old Times, that is a nice little horse. That is a nice little horse. Not a great horse, I don't think, but a nice horse. Yeah, a fine horse ridden as closer. Maybe go for the really big money. I don't think we're that far ahead of the curve there. Up to 84. That's pretty much as I said I wanted. I can't be mad. So Montauk slips down to 105. Disappointing, but okay. Rare Old Times, exactly where I wanted her to be, which is ahead of where I thought she'd be. That's good. I'm happy. I'm really happy. If we can get the same out of Alincala, I wouldn't mind if Ginger Mill finished 5th or above, really. So yeah, that's very, very interesting. Very interesting. So let's go to the auction and see what comes up, because we've still got a bit of money to burn. Nothing's rated very well. A 76 rated 2-year-old and a 76 rated 3-year-old filly. That's racing on distance and not performing, so we don't want to touch that horse, I don't think. An interim payment. See, a mile 2 came 5th over 6 furlongs. I'm just wondering if that was a little bit behind where she should have been. That could be a decent pickup. And for 300,000 again, it's a risk I'm willing to take, because we'll only lose about 100,000 even if this horse doesn't come off for us, I believe. So I don't mind betting on horses in the 70s. Let's see, where's this going? Slowly up, or not as slowly as I'd expected? Did a couple of people want this horse? But I'm the one that's going to get it. $382,200. That horse is mine. Is there anything else coming up? Spatham Rose. What was that run I saw that horse in? Spatham Rose. That must have been the 5 furlong maiden. Do I want this horse? For 112,000, I just want to see what it's like. I don't think this horse is any good. I'm expecting 20 or so potential, but if it is being run under its distance, there's a chance that there is potential there, and there is something to work with. Cool Minx is another one I need to look at. A mile, mile 1. No, no. So I'm done. I went looking for a horse, and I got a couple that probably are not going to be any good. Batham Rose is fairly expectable to be, fairly expected to be there. That's respectable. That's okay. I mean, she hasn't got the stamina to run in these races. She's not being run in the right race. But that's going to be a bit too much work, considering the amount of other horses. I don't want to have to concentrate on getting her rating up. An interim payment, please. That's decent. That's 60 potential. It's fairly low ability right now, but it does have stamina. I think this is one with a little bit more promise. So for 400,000, so that's what, 1.6 for 3 2-year-old females that we can work with over the next year or two and see if there's any chance of increasing our breeding stock. I'm happy with that. So Spatham Rose will be sold. However, interim payment we really need to find a race for, and I'm gonna say around that mark. What's that, 55? So what have we got at around 55? What's come soprano? So I've got this horse at about a mile 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 55. Yeah, so we're going to look at around the mile 1 level for interim payment. And just see if there's anything there. I believe that's the best course of action. Let's get this one running and see if we sell or if we actually give it a go. Only one race. Juvenile Stakes Grade 3. We're not there. We're not there. Allowance race. 85 handicap might be nice. That's too high a level. The rating is a bit high there. I don't want to throw interim payment into that kind of field. When he ran at 6, came 5th. Yeah, this could be a nice horse. It really could. That's the problem. I need to find the right race here, though. What's in that? Too much. What's in here? 76. I got Alan Calla in that race. I don't like racing my horses together. So what's this allowance race? 104. God, no. No. A low grade 3 with 193 rated. Really? We've got a little bit of money we can waste. Let's see, where would we actually be? That's a decent one. No, it's grade 3. That's higher than I want to go. But it's not a feature race. And there's only one really good horse in there that I fully believe is better. I think this horse, Zakata, is probably better than my horse. However, everyone else I think is comparable or worse, so that might be a little bit of a risk worth taking. If I've got the distance right, and this horse likes running about a mile 1, put her in a mile in that field, could be top 5. And if it is top 5 in a grade 3, I think her rating goes up, if nothing else. So I need to take that risk. It's the first race that's available, and it's the only one there that I trust. So what's that? A mile handicap to 7. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Might win, might get the rating up, might be able to make a little bit of money back off Spatham Rose then. Okay. I was a little bit worried about that booking there, but we'll see. Glinga Mill, firm favourite, top rated horse with Elusive Prince. I like Elusive Prince, but £6, that pulls a little bit more back in our favour. However, two Dubai horses, and they are very close behind in terms of rating. £3. Yeah, £3 isn't a lot, so I think we're fighting for this one. We are going to fight for this one. We might not get our own way. Elusive Prince, Rafia, moving well, lean, ready to go. Okay. And Mossfield, let's not ignore Mossfield then. Decent odds. Low rated, but not the lowest. Does carry bottom weight. Ooh. Yeah, this is a definite race. This is not as this isn't as in the favour as I thought it would be. Dalke's never done anything against us. We're competitive with the Dubai horses and Elusive Prince. Bandmaster shouldn't be able to do much in this race. Mossfield might, but ugh. Let's see. Oh, not the worst, but not the best either. Not the worst or the best. So let's see then. Let's see what Glingamil can do for us here. I was really confident when booking this race that I'd sort of stacked the playing field a little bit in Glingamil's favour. I'm not so sure now. That field looks a lot better at the line than it did earlier, so let's just see. We're holding back again. I don't like it. I can't see my horse, and you know, we're coming into the start of the turn. 3 furlongs out. I like what Vizian is doing now. I don't think Vizian's going to do much. I don't think it's going to win, but oh, I don't know actually. No, there we go. That's what I was expecting. I was expecting the hesitation. An Elusive Prince is storming through. Glingamil's going to have to put something spectacular to get, you know, onto the screen by the end. But it's no way going to be a win. And it's just going to be second place. Elusive Prince was the horse most feared. It is the horse that takes it. And thus ends the winning streak of Glingamil. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with finishing 4.5 lengths behind. I don't think we're a worse horse. I really don't think we're a worse horse. So that's what, 57,500 prize money there. We beat out the 2 Dubai horses. I'm happy with that. We keep our rating. I'm fairly happy with that. And yeah, Elusive Prince. That is a tough horse to beat. That is a tough horse. It's got a history of feature races, and it's now won its 3rd Grade 1 race, so maybe a little bit too much for Glingamil at this point in his career. But again, good performance. That was decent. I'm not too unhappy with that. I don't want either of those horses. Very good days running. Okay, I've decided not to watch because these messages keep coming up and interrupting the simulation, so I'm trying to keep a mental note. I should really write down the names of the horses I want to watch. So Spatham Rose, I don't really want to watch run, and that's 5th place, and that's 40. Well, that killed the rating, didn't it? That just absolutely killed the rating. Ran lazily, okay. Prominent early, prominent halfway, faded, and then we eased off. Ran lazily, yeah. Okay, so this is a decent horse. That just is not gonna be worthwhile, in my opinion. I'm sure there's things I can do with that horse to make it a decent prospect in our stables, but right now, I just don't see the point. I really don't. So, let's go to the auction. Smatham Rose is the first up. Unlucky here. 79 rated for less than 200,000. Ion Lish Power there. Neil Harvey, I'm not sure I want to take at that price. Not talking. You haven't won any graded races, and the closest you've come is miles behind, so not really. There we go, 140,000 for Smatham Rose. I'll take that. And let's see where this goes. $250,000 maybe? Yeah, that was the right bid at the right time there. So 232,000. Let's take a look and see what Lish Power is. I'm not really interested in any of others. So Lish Power, no potential and less stamina than I was actually hoping for. But some great stats and low deterioration. I mean, yeah, that's a horse I might be tempted to work with, even though we're talking 40 potential, which means it'll probably cap out about 70. There's no point in breeding that horse at this stage. No, let's just put it back up for auction. Let's ignore it. Let's walk on by. Skip back round as well to the Thursday. Back into the auction. So there is Lish Power. 3-year-old Miss Boops, but looks terrible. Yeah. Did Lish Power sell? Lish Power did not sell. So I know people put them in selling races, claiming races. I normally just do stuff like that. Anything in here worthwhile? 90 rated 4-year-old. Not that interested there. Arcus Bow. One a maiden. Could be good. And that one, yeah, I don't think it's tempting enough. But what was this run like? All out on a half furlong win over Connectivity, who hasn't run since. He hasn't run, she hasn't run. She's run again. She did nothing that time. Okay. I have no clue. I have absolutely no clue, but there we are. We're getting 200,000 back for Lish Power anyway. I'm fairly happy with that. I didn't expect to get that much. I thought it'd be about 180,000. So that's decent. And I don't know about Indian Ridge. I don't really want a sprinter, so we'll skip that one. Arcus Bow. Where are we going? This is going 350, 380, isn't it? Yeah. This might even go 400,000. It's close close to 400,000 for Rascalicious Bow. And let's get out of here. Rascalicious Bow. Boom. Potential. Not a lot. 56. Consistency. Surface adaptability. Not a lot else. Not really what I was looking for, but I think that's something that we can possibly work with, and that's about a mile as well, I believe. So let's see what's over a mile quickly. Grade 3 handicap. What rating? 81. Ugh. I'm not sure about that field. That field is a no-go. That field should be top weight. She will be top weight. Yep, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter about top weight. I just want to see how she runs at this point. So interim payment, Alincala and Rascalicious Bow. Let's see what we can do with these ones. Okay, what's up with Zakata? Sweating badly and agitated. Lovely stuff. Sweating badly, parading well. So who is Sarah Star? 11 to 2. Decent rating. That might be a winner right there in the black. It's almost my silks inverted. So if we can compete with that horse and the other good horses sort of do pay. Oh, what a bad start there for Ever a Gent. It's decent for us. Sarah Star's on the outside. Zakata just sort of on our shoulder. So we'll see how well the jockey controls that horse. We're in good position though. I like this at the moment from us. I really do. And it's a lovely colour horse. Look at that. But Zakata's the one that's doing the right things. Here comes Sarah Star. That's where I like that horse. I thought Sarah Star had a lot to it. An interim payment fades right to the back. That is absolute chaos. Okay. Well out class, ridden as front runner. You were never in the front. Struggle to lead. I didn't want you to lead. Oh boy. Okay, that's a bit of a bad one, because I don't understand like how the jockey wanted to ride that at all. I don't know. But we can't really think too much about it. So Alincala. Let's see, what do we want to do? I don't know what kind of horse this is, so I don't like giving jockey instructions. I think this is a decent chance, but we might be outclassed. Let's hope it's better than that last race, however, because that was just terrifying. So Alincala, bad start, into the pack, but not bad positioning at the moment. This is not bad. Gonna have to navigate the field ahead, but looks to be doing that quite nicely. Gets into position by 3 furlongs. Makes the move at the right time. Does not have enough what it takes, or does she? No. So Noir Avert, black and green, gets first place. But that's a nice little run into second. That's slightly better than expected. It was the right field to run in, so Okay, and struggle for pace, so the distance might have been a little bit bad, or the class might have been a little bit bad. Maybe we need to go a furlong longer. That might have to wait until next season. But really, an 84, 74, 73, that's okay. Arakisbo at 81 is again decent. Okay, what's this Ortea? He's won both of his 7 furlongs, but he can go to a mile 3 apparently. Driven out. And even though he's hampered, he still won. Okay. And he beat Zakata. Okay. Okay. So. I don't think this is a great horse. But we're able to make more money than we lose. So. We're not saving up for anything. It's another horse that I'm willing to take a gamble on, and I know we're running a bit long. I do try and keep these episodes 25 to 35 minutes. And I'm really bad at doing that. I do tend to run long, but let's just see what Ortea goes for here. Tad over 4. What do we got? What do we got? Fingers crossed. Okay, it's filled potential. Filled potential about 56, I believe there. So could be decent. Great finish. Good adaptabilities. It's not bad, it's not bad. Hopefully we'll be able to work with this horse a little bit. It's got a good rating, running in a grade 3, 7 furlong. Okay. Okay, he's got a chance. He does have a chance. One thing I would like to do though is put my own jockey on the horse. We will see that. So yeah, we've brought some new horses in, and I think we're going to leave the video here. I think I'll just skip through. Ooh, drive times in the upcoming auction. Okay. What's this? A grade 2 win. Didn't do well at Brookling. 3rd in the Florida Derby though, over a mile 1. And a bunch of places. So it's a 2nd, a 4th in grade 1, as well as that 3rd. So that's not bad. That's kind of a horse I want to take a look at. I don't think we've got enough money, however, so what I will be doing is saving the game there. And thanks very much for watching. I am going to go off, do a little bit of gambling, trying to get an extra 2.5 million in the pot. If I get up around 3 million, I'm okay, I think, to try and take a little crack at landing drive time in the auction. That's our target. We've brought in some fillies into the stables, which is always a good idea. Next episode, we'll see Arakisbo and Ortea run their first race. I'll try and book some of the other horses into other races where it makes sense, and hopefully we'll have already got drive time. We'll be able to take a look at him and book him into races if his potential and stats look right for our organisation. Until then, thanks very much for watching. This has been Starters Order 6. I've been Chris Orme. There's a link in the description to buy the game. Click the like button and the subscribe button if you have enjoyed. More videos are on the way. Take care, guys.